Alright, so I want to thank you guys for coming today and listening to my speech. We're going to be talking about the great opioid epidemic that is plaguing the United States. Okay? So first off, I want to start with a question. Who here has a friend or a loved one that has ever been addicted to drugs? Okay, perfect. So, I have friends that have been addicted, and I have friends that have died from drug addiction. So, this is a very important topic to me. Alright, there are many types of opioids out there, and there are very few treatment options for opioid addiction. As anybody who has a friend or family member addicted to opioids knows that. So today we're going to talk about some statistics, and we're going to go over treatment options, and we'll go over the different kinds of opioids that are out there. Okay? So, as far as statistics go, 11.4 million Americans used prescription drugs in 2017. 1 million used heroin. 75% of them started by abusing prescription drugs. So most people that wind up addicted to opioids start out because they get prescribed painkillers by doctors and overprescribed painkillers, and then wind up being taken off of those, and then they wind up being addicted, and their only other option is to go to the street, obviously, and get things like heroin and other opioids that are out there on the streets. Drug abuse is the leading cause of death in Americans aged 50 years and younger. That is by far cutting our life expectancy much shorter than what it used to be in previous years. So we are now living shorter lives because we're becoming dependent on these chemical substances, and that's over the next year, 500,000 people will die from opioid abuse. And it's crazy to think that, with the 11.4 million people that are already addicted, there are another million more are gonna die off because of something that we can control and stop. Drug overdose rates rise. Drug overdose rates tripled between 1999 and 2017. So in an 18-year span, we have seen triple the amount of opioid abuse and opioid-related fatalities. So there's many different types of opioids out there. The three that I'm going to talk about are prescription drugs. So you have Percocets, you have Oxycontins, and you have morphine. And this is normally what leads people wanting to be addicted to street drugs. So you take something that's perfectly legal and can be prescribed by a doctor, a medical professional who has a license and has went to school, and then they wind up taking us off of it, and our bodies still need it. So that leads us to use things like heroin, and then there are synthetic drugs like fentanyl and carfentanil. And the synthetic drugs are what's killing us more than the actual heroin is. Alright, so when Oxycontin was released in the 1990s, it was prescribed as a slow-release opioid, supposed to have a less likely addiction rate. So their hope was they would put this drug out on the market, people would be prescribed it instead of Percocets or morphine, and they would be less likely to get addicted just because of how slow release was, and it worked. Well, the problem with that is they didn't do enough research, so people still wound up being addicted to it, and it wound up being widely overprescribed. So instead of you going to the doctor because you had a back problem or whatever, and instead of giving you a Percocet or giving you something just to numb the pain and not get your body hooked on drugs, they wound up giving you Oxycontin, and they widely overabused prescribing that. So what wound up happening was people wound up getting extremely addicted to the Oxycontin, even though it was supposed to be less likely to be addictive, and it was supposed to be a slow-release drug. Because it was slow-release, people were taking more and more of them, and that was winding up adding to the opioid crisis, which was leading way because in the early 90s was when Mexico was being funneled in, was when heroin was being funneled into Mexico. So they're prescribing this drug that's supposed to not get you addicted while coming across the border is a drug that's definitely going to get you addicted. So when people were stopped, when they finally cut off the supply of OxyContin in the 2000s, they were just like, you know what? We have nothing else to lose. We have nothing else to do. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start using heroin. And since it was so easily accessible because it was coming over from Mexico, it just made it easier for people to stay addicted. So treatment options for opioid addiction. There's 2 widely used treatment options, one of which being a 12-step program. And 12-step programs use the logic of a higher power, meetings, having a friend to talk to, and these things are supposed to help keep you off of drugs. Your other option is either get on methadone or Suboxone. And when you get on methadone or Suboxone, you're just being given an extremely lower dose of an opioid. So you're not really getting off of a drug. They're still pumping an opioid into your body, so that way you're still getting it. The only problem with that is it just never gets somebody fully off, and they never get fully clean. So if you're prescribed opioids from a doctor, your best bet is just to say no and to find something else to ease the pain. Because if you don't, your rate of addiction goes up. And that's kind of where this all stems from. So the rate of addiction goes up, and you're more likely to wind up being addicted to opioids, and then when you get taken off of them, you wind up going out and having to do something else. Too many people have died or have destroyed their lives by using these drugs. So it's easier to say no to the prescription opioids to hopefully never get started on anything else. So thank you guys for coming today and listening to my speech. I thoroughly appreciate it, and have a great day.